Here we go. Looks like we're broadcasting live on Facebook. It says we're live, but my Facebook over here doesn't say we're live. Cash call, everybody. Good to see you. Guess what? Guess who's back in the house? You know, from traveling around the country, kissing babies, shaking hands, doing God knows what. Brian Curtis, everybody.
Yeah, well, I'll only tell you about the kissing babies and shaking hands, but the rest of the stuff, whatever stays at a conference, goes on at a conference, stays at a conference. I'm not. My wild and party days are far, far, far in the past. So I'll be in bed at 10 o'clock at a conference most of the days.
Nice. Look at you being good. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's just I'm old and tired. You know, we work hard, and every day by 10 o'clock I'm tired.
That's so funny.
5 o'clock comes early, right?
It does. It comes really early. All right, great. So, Brian, what you missed was last week we gave out the secret to life, and then we listened to some calls and, you know, gave some really great pointers for people. I'm just starting this so I can – there we go. Okay, now I got this running in the background so I can see who's up there. Linda Landman said Brian is back. Yes, thank you, Linda. Brian is back. Don Mowry's on with us. Don Mowry, you got to shave that creeper stash, bro. I saw that on your Facebook. It's got to go. Seriously.
Hey, Don, it was actually good. I actually got to physically shake hands with Don last week, so it was great to meet you.
Don is the man. Awesome guy. So, all right, should we get started today, everybody? Yeah, let's listen to some calls. And, you know, we have to figure out in the future, Brian, is how do we bring people up on here? Damn, Dale, your hair's on point today. Thank you, Don Mowry. You could wear that on your upper lip, my friend. So we have to figure out how to like bring people up on here so that we can interact with them at some point in the future, right? I think it makes a massive impact when we do that with people. And in fact, what I was thinking is we can bring them up and like play a call, bring two people up and be like, okay, let's role play this now. Let's do this different. Thank you, Mark Welty. I appreciate it.
So I'm going to throw it out there, and yes, Mark, Dale is looking very dapper. So,
and I just took it. I just assumed that was me, not Brian, right?
I'm sitting here in a suit and a white shirt, and we're both assuming it's Dale that looks good. So there you go. I don't know what that says about me. I'm not sure what that says about Dale. We don't have that kind of time or money, probably.
What that means is my ego is big enough for both of us. Is what that means.
All right. Well, fair enough. That's kind of funny. But anyway, I have no idea where I was going with that. But I'm excited to be back and excited to, you know, get into some of this stuff. There's a lot of good stuff going on out there. And, you know, I'm ready to start whenever you are.
Excellent. Sounds good. I'll kick it off. I'm gonna send off the first one here. I just hope that my internet doesn't crash. If my internet crashes, I'll try to come back on. But things are not looking.
If Dale's internet crashes, we'll wing it, and I know how to adapt. So.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna bring this. I'm gonna share my screen and hope I don't crash any satellites. Okay. Let's listen to this one.
What?
Hello.
Hello, Fearless. This is Marcy Realty. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I was just noticing that you've been on our website looking at houses in Frisco, and I wondered if you were going to be moving soon or if you're just window shopping.
Just
You can hear my script, right? There we go. Good. There we go.
window shopping right now.
And he said, just window shopping. Great.
Shopping. Do you have a timeline on when you think you might move?
Yeah, maybe like in 3 to 4 years, I'm thinking.
Oh, quite a ways out.
Yeah, that's right. Just trying to get a jump start on the market, seeing what it's doing.
Okay. Where do you live, Nick?
Okay, so she said 3 to 4 years out, right? I just heard like 75% of the agents watching this go, I'm out. But here's what, listen, just listen. Let's keep listening, okay?
Yeah.
We live in Irving.
Oh, so you do live in the area.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, good luck with your searching.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, it was just kind of peripheral searching, seeing what it's like out there. Nothing too urgent or anything of the matter. I don't want to consume your time.
Well, I would love to have your business if you find that perfect house that you think, oh my gosh, I'm ready to move right now.
Okay, well, here we go, right?
She almost said the script.
This is like, what? Wait a minute. So we've just accepted that it's not going to happen for 3 or 4 years, and that makes perfect sense, and there's no reason for him to buy sooner. And then we said, don't call me unless you find the right house, right? That's what I heard. What I heard was, don't call me if you have any questions. Don't call me if you want to get to know the areas. Don't call me if you just want to figure out the process. Don't call me if you want to window shop. Only call me if you find the right house.
And I guess if you had 100,000 people who were only going to call you if they found the right house, maybe you could close 10 transactions a year.
Right.
But probably not the best way to go. So here's the other thing. In my opinion, she got this close and she gave up. And what I mean by that is she said, if you find the right house that you have to have right now, I don't know the exact thing as she said, let me know. How about if I happen to find the perfect house for you, is it something that you would even consider?
How about what's important about waiting for 3 or 4 years? What's going to change? Why does that matter? What's the benefit to waiting for 3 or 4 years? Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. What has to happen first before you can purchase?
Well, one of the things that I'd like to really people to think about today, and I just got back from a conference, so I've got conference brain, all the things that people tell you. So one of the things that I heard at this conference is that call rates are down, or answer rates for calls are down like almost in half is what they said. And I don't remember the exact statistics, but I feel comfortable saying the answer rate is down. So yes. Here's one of the things that I'd like people to think about is if it takes twice as much dials to get somebody on the phone, once you get that person on the phone, start acting like they really, really, really matter, because guess what? It might be another 30 minutes before you get to have another conversation. Right. That doesn't mean that you try and turn a mushroom into an apple, but nonetheless, if you got somebody and this guy wasn't a jerk,
no,
it wasn't.
He was willing to talk.
Pushing her. He was a nice guy. So when would I spend 30 minutes on the phone with him? Probably not, but I probably would have spent another 4 or 5 minutes on the phone with him, just trying to get him to talk. Who knows? I mean, Eric, who's been on our show before in my stead, he's had literally built rapport with people and had those people give him referrals because the people he built the rapport with couldn't buy a house, bad credit, whatever. But we don't know what this guy's reason. He might be saving, $500,000 because he thinks he needs a $500,000 down payment in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So
what happens if he thinks he needs 20% down? What happens if he thinks that he can't buy while he's still a student or whatever, right? What happens if he's a physician and he's in a rotation and he thinks that he can't get financing? Whatever the case is, find out what it is. Don't get off the phone. Like, these are gold, man. Like, seriously, the answer rate is absolutely way down. So every person that you talk to is super important, right? To have a conversation with them. And here's what I think, Brian, is that anybody that I talk to, unless they can never or will never buy or sell anything with me or send anybody to me who will buy or sell anything with me, is my client, right? And we're going to do business at some point.
Absolutely.
So unfortunately, this agent just took for granted that 3 or 4 years, this person is really far out, so I'm just going to let that. She took that as the answer, as the solution, right? What we know is that anytime somebody isn't going to do what we want them to do, when we want them to do it, or who we want them to do it with, they've come up with a solution. So I want everybody listening to this to consider that every solution you hear is crap and there's a better one that involves you sooner for more money, right? Mm-hmm. There's a better solution. So let's figure out how we can make that solution work, right? That's always the solution.
Absolutely. I literally said this within the last hour. Life is determined by the quality of your life is determined by the quality of the questions that you ask. We were talking about, somebody was saying, well, they couldn't do a thing. And then this person listed all the reasons that they couldn't do a thing. And then my question was, but what if you could? And I know that sounds like a really simple question, but what if you could,
right.
To this guy on the phone, but what if you did buy a house next year?
What's the Tony Robbins question? What would it look like if you did, or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know how to do it. Oh, you don't know how to do it. But if you knew how to do it, what would you do? Right?
Exactly. And you just keep asking yourself those questions over and over and over again. And it's the same thing. So what I'm hearing Dale say, and this is one of the huge things that I'm doing, and shout out to Dale. I actually taught this at the YLOPO conference last week, and Dale taught this to me, is who, what, why, when, where, and how. So
nice. Did you credit me? Did you credit Dale? Awesome. There we go.
I learned this from my buddy Dale Archdeacon. I said it on stage.
Nice.
So, but my point of that is that discovery is everything, because if we do good discovery, people will teach us how to sell them. You know, this guy might have said, hey, I've only got $5,000 saved. And we go, great. We got jumbo programs in San Francisco. We can do zero down. By the way, I have no idea if that exists, but who knows? I mean, there's always a solution. It just might not be a good one. So, you know, we've got to ask the questions. We can't solve the problems that we don't know exist.
Absolutely. Amen. All right. Play your call. Let's hear it.
So this is a very interesting call, and it's 13 minutes long, so we're not going to listen to the entire thing, obviously. But there's a lot of good and bad in this call that
nice.
I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm going to share my screen.
Oh, I should talk about the good in that call, right? This is one of the problems I have. My DC personality, all I do is look for wrong all the time, right? Like that's all I look for. So funny. She entered the call very powerfully. She was very assumptive and sounded great. She sounds great on the phone.
Perfect. That's all. Yeah, and it was. It really felt like this person, you know, we're going to talk to somebody that is our friend. So, all right, I'm getting ready to play.
Oh, hi, Sammy.
Yes.
How are you?
Doing fine. How about you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. This is Alex with the Curtis Realty Group. We had spoken before in regards to the selling of your property. Do you recall?
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
Sammy, you know what? We got a lady interested in purchase.
So one of the things I want to give her credit for right away is she tried to reestablish that rapport. And that's great. Hey, do you remember when we talked before? Oh, yeah. And so here's the thing that's interesting about that question, assuming that you actually have talked before. Most people aren't going to tell you no. So they're literally running through their brain going, when did I talk to this person? Okay, and they're trying to not look like somebody who forgot that they talked to somebody. So great job. Hey, you remember chatting before? Use the information from the last call, assuming it's a follow-up call. So, it is
also important to do that, Brian, because everybody, just let you know, the answer rate is down. Everybody is programmed to not talk to strangers over the phone, right? And so if you can immediately spark that memory of we did talk, and ideally it wasn't a negative memory, maybe even a positive memory, right? Then you skip a whole lot of the rapport stuff. Like you just jumped ahead, right? You got back to where we were.
Right, so basically what Dale's saying is don't undo all the work you did last time. Use it, benefit from that. And
absolutely, always.
Always, always, always. Rapport, you're not going to sell anything to anybody who doesn't know, like, and trust you. It's just a fact. So if you've done the work,
unless it's drugs.
That's right.
Anybody will buy drugs from you.
Your land or something because she wants to set up a car shop. And I thought of you, and then I thought, well, Sammy has a car shop.
Yeah, it's very good location with good reputation.
I know. So
since 2001.
What are your thoughts? Are you still considering selling to retire? Do you want to wait? What is it that you want, Sammy? Tell me.
No, if I find somebody today, I sell it.
Okay.
Pause this.
Right?
Pause this.
A lot of good and bad.
I love it, actually.
Yeah.
This guy, you can totally talk to him like that. She and I don't know if she talks like this all the time or if she's only doing this based on his personality, but it's a perfect match.
It's hilarious, isn't it?
This guy would invite her over. He would invite her over for dinner. Seriously. Yeah. Like that's how much he likes hearing that.
Yeah, she owns him. She really does.
Oh yeah.
But here's something that's kind of concerning to me, and you know, I'm going to go listen to some of her other calls. My concern is not everybody you can talk to that way.
No, you can't.
So she's either brilliant or we've got some work to do, and I'm not sure which it is.
Or we've got some personality issues with that one.
So moving forward.
400,000 sell that property, yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you this. There is no pending mortgage on the property, right?
No.
Okay, so let's just say you're the buyer and you go in the shop, from 1 to 10 being the best, how would you rate it?
Rate the property.
So this is the part that I don't understand.
This is an auto shop?
It's a car repair place thing.
Oh my gosh.
And I understand. Hey,
Sammy, how are your drapes in the auto repair shop? Oh,
Right.
Man, we need to have a talk with her.
Yeah, so we've got some, again, to Dale's point, some really good things going on. But really what I felt like what happened was that this, and by the way, this is an inside sales associate who is a third party hire. So I don't directly train them. I train their trainers to train these people. But it felt like she lost the script and went, oh, here's a script. This is why, and again, I'm going to give Dale all the credit for this because I've been teaching this a different way until Dale and I became friends. Just go back to the basic discovery.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got when. When is anytime somebody writes me a check for $400,000.
Great.
Great. Why? And she started the why, but I don't think he ever answered the question. We don't necessarily know his motivation. She had some information from the past about he wants to retire at some point in time. Well, I want to retire at some point in time, but it doesn't mean I want to sell my house.
Right.
So, guys, everybody always talks, well, I want this script, and I want this thing, and I want this objection handler. Great, learn all those things. But just start with the framework. Stop making this so complex. How do you know to talk to people? Well, personally, I've been doing it for 47 years. That's how I know how to talk to people. I'm not trying to turn this into some kind of, and again, is there better than just a framework? Absolutely. And we're going to, we teach you that, but ultimately get the framework down and stop trying to make it so complex. So.
Absolutely.
What view? I mean, from which view you are talking about?
You're the buyer, and you go in.
Let's see what does she end up doing? Does she try to set an appointment with this guy or what?
She does set an appointment. So
nice.
I'm going to skip forward quite a bit. So here we go.
And any car business can be there. I mean, there is no.
Okay, so let me just confirm tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Sorry.
They know I rent a car. Actually, they rent a car place. They want mine too, but they want to go ahead and rent it from me. I said no. If I rent it with you guys, I'm going to be married with that property. I don't want to do that. So you guys send somebody over there. We can talk, see what he said. He educated me a little bit better than I know.
Yeah, we can present you some options, you can tell us the exact time frame and everything, and, we can make it happen. And if you like what you hear, then we move forward. If not, there's no obligation, Sammy.
Yeah. I listen. I am very good about listening to people and learn from them. So
I'm going to ask you a question, Dale. How do you feel about me saying there's no obligation?
I think that it depends on the person that you're talking to. If I'm going to get an appointment with you predicated, if I know that you're sensitive to being pushed into something, right? Or for instance, one of the things that we do to try and get a listing appointment is sometimes when people, when they won't set a listing appointment with you, it's because what they're doing is they're equating, if I agree to an appointment, then that means that I'm ready to sell my house, ready to list it, ready to sign a contract, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Now, you and I know that if somebody's motivated to sell, is open to working with an agent, and they don't already have an agent, if I can at least reduce that fear and say, oh no, we're coming over to talk about options, and you're gonna, I'm gonna be able to show you what we could do for you if you chose to do something like that, right? That's all we're doing. This is not about you deciding to list. This is about you checking out your options and deciding whether it makes sense for you, right? Absolutely. And they're gonna say yes, and I'm gonna say, hey, that's fantastic. And then I'm going to ask, great. And so now I don't know if she'll do this, right? She may not, being an ISA, but you and I as agents, if you're going to then pre-qualify, it's, hey, that's fantastic. And when I see you, if what I say makes sense and you feel really comfortable and confident and you know that this is the right way to go, would you be prepared to get started and sign with us or whatever I say, right?
Sure.
I would still ask that question, right? Just to see where they're at, to see whether or not there's still an objection. So what do you think about saying that there's no obligation?
Well, and so let me just say I agree with everything that you said, but to me, it's a tool to set an appointment in an iffy situation. So what I mean by that is if I can set the appointment without saying it, why bring it up? Why put that in their head that they can say no? Now, again, if I need to do that a little bit to pull back.
I definitely agree with that. Don't add it in unless the resistance is there.
Right, and we heard this, and you know, I know we were moving back and forth a little bit, but basically the guy said, send somebody over to my house. We didn't have to close the objection. She didn't have to set the appointment, and we skipped a little bit, you know, so she kind of did some stuff, but he was good. He's like, yeah, send him over, and then she was here, and she made it a little bit weaker. So
yeah,
it's not a crisis, but why? Don't add information that doesn't need to be added. Don't set yourself up, or if you're an inside salesperson, don't set somebody else up to go away. And, you know, I'll give you an example of an appointment I went on one time. I went on an appointment with the office manager for a real estate company to list her house. I didn't know that until I showed up because it was a company set it for me. But why would you set that appointment? I mean, I had no chance. It was probably one of the few appointments that I walked in and I said, I'm sorry, I'm just going to leave. And I don't do that very often. But my point of that is that there was so many takeaways in there. There's, oh, Brian's just going to give you free information. Brian's just going to do this for you. Brian's going to do that for you. No, Brian's not going to do all that. Brian's trying to list your house. So, right. You know, I'm not so desperate that I need to go on a buyer appointment with someone who has a 400 credit score and is unemployed. So, you know, some appointments aren't worth going on, I guess is my point. So anyway, but yeah, they made the appointment, and I think the appointment's actually this afternoon at 4 o'clock. So. Okay,
great. I do want to point this out, Brian. What you were talking about with that, where he said, yeah, I can listen to somebody talk. I'm really good at that, right? In fact, with that statement, I probably would have gone the other direction and said, great, you know what? They're going to talk to you about our marketing plan and how we sell this is an auto body shop, right? How we're able to expose it to the market and get it sold in less than whatever time and for X amount of money. And if you like what you hear, they're going to give you the opportunity to move forward and work with us. How does that sound? Is that something you would? I would have gone the other direction in that case, because the guy was like, oh, I'll listen to what you have to say. And I'm like, okay, wait a minute. So I can do the dog and pony show. Let's hear if that's actually going to result in something or not.
And let me follow up one more thing on that. One of the things that Dale is not afraid to do is it's called a trial close, in case you guys don't know what that's called. He's closing right there and then. If we give you the perfect situation, are you willing to move forward? If we have a situation that's advantageous to you, where are you willing to move forward? And, you know, most agents, most salespeople, this is not unique to real estate agents, are afraid to ask questions like that. Here's the thing, guys. Those questions, it's not about getting a yes. A yes is great. Yeah, awesome. But really, right. Or here, what about just getting the objection? That's what we're really trying to do. It's another form of discovery.
Nice.
And closing questions do one of two things. They get you a yes or a no, or they get you an objection. And guess what? You can't sell that which you don't know. So if you don't know that this guy can't sell his house for 5 years because he's afraid it's going to have tax consequences, then you're going to
better find out.
Time. So we need to ask those questions so that, well, no, my business partner who's out of the country for the next 8 months owns half the place, and he's someplace where there's no way for him to sign. Okay.
Right.
It's good information. Yeah. And I know I'm making up weird stuff, but that's the thing. Ask the questions, get the objections so that you can actually handle it.
Yeah, do this, Brian and everybody, do this. Add this in to anybody that you talk to, whether it's a buyer or seller. Hey, if we can get your home sold in the next 30 days or so, would that be a problem? If we actually found the perfect home for you, if you found the perfect home for you in the next 30 days, would you be able to move, right? Just work that in somewhere and see what happens.
Yeah, and here's the thing, what kind of objections are you going to get there? Well, no, I got to wait for my kid to finish up school, or
all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things. Guess what? It's just another form of discovery. Yeah. Ask those hard questions. If you close, sometimes you'll get a yes, which is fabulous.
Yeah.
But worst case scenario, you're getting more information. That's all we need as salespeople, is we need more information so that we can continue to move forward with stuff.
Absolutely. All right, let's play this next one. My internet sucks. Am I like glitching or anything? Am I like really slow?
No, you're looking good. No,
Okay,
looking
good.
good.
It is like really delaying. I don't know why. You know what? I was going to play this next one. I feel like it's a little bit long. How's your next one? What's your next one like?
I only brought one because mine was 13 minutes long.
All right, we'll play this one then.
Okay.
Okay, we'll play this one. 13 minutes. I should stop titling them as like this because people are going to guess what I was going to say. That's a bad move. I need the art. I need the surprise.
Yeah, mine are boring. 10, 22, 19 cash call.
Hello?
Hello, Demetra from Town Club Realty. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I was calling because you were looking at homes in Dallas, so I wanted to touch base real quick and see if you were looking at.
All right, so this is a buyer registered on a website, right? We're calling them up. Great entry point. What I want to do is I want to hear the key thing that's in the way of getting an appointment.
A purchase or just window shopping?
I'm just window shopping right now because I'm about to go on medical leave, so I can't really be out looking right now.
Okay.
I'll be down for a few weeks.
Pause it for a second. We haven't talked about this, but this is an important thing. Graffiti. You know what I'm referring to? She said okay 17 times in a row there. Okay, 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 okay. When I hear that as a customer, what I'm hearing is, shut the hell up so I can talk. It's okay to say it once every minute or so, but she said okay, okay, okay 3 times in a row in less than, well, the call's only been playing for 29 seconds.
29 seconds. Yeah, I would definitely get rid of that. For me, it sounds like an and it's another tick. It doesn't mean anything, I guess is what you're saying. Yeah. Okay, so what we just heard was I'm just window shopping because I'm getting ready to go on medical leave, so I can't be out looking at houses for the next, what did she say, few weeks or few months?
I think it was a few weeks, but a period of time. Yeah.
Medical leave, so I can't really be out looking right now.
Okay.
I'll be down for a few weeks.
A few weeks.
I'll be down for a few weeks. So this is the no. If I said, can you go and buy a house today with me in the car? There's a perfect one around the corner.
Nope.
I can't do it because I'm going to be on medical leave for a few weeks.
Perfect.
Perfectly fine, right? So here's what happens. She does the rest of the discovery, like, where are you looking? What are you looking to buy? Have you gotten pre-qualified? And she said yes. But then listen to what happens. So we get through those questions.
Funding. Okay, perfect. But what I'd like to do, Demetria, is
what I'd like to do, this is where the shift, right? So now we went through discovery, we didn't get the why, but we got who, where, when, what, and a little bit about how much. Didn't get the why, and now this shift here, which should be a close for something to happen, but we're going to listen to what the close is.
To have the agent give you a call, let you know a little bit about what we have available, so that when the time is right, we can get things going for you. Is there a better time I can have them reach out to you?
Probably tomorrow afternoon.
So this is a problem. What she's doing is she's just setting another phone call with a different strange salesperson, which doesn't hold any value for this person.
No.
So instead of setting that phone call, which, agents often do, instead of setting that phone call, figure out a reason that would make sense for us to get face-to-face with her, whether it's at a coffee shop or at her place, whatever it is. It can even just be about, hey, I know that you're going to be on medical leave and you're going to be down for a little while. You can't be out there looking at houses and running around and inside and out of these things. Let me come and meet with you for 10 minutes, put a face to a name and really get a better sense of what's going to work for you. And then I can be out there looking for you, and I'll just shoot those things over to you just so that you can window shop when you have nothing better to do while you're hanging out at home recovering. Absolutely. So I just made this all like benefit to you and made it work relative to what you have going on right now. Instead of talk to another strange salesperson about God knows what you're going to talk about, right? But instead making it real relevant and worthwhile for you.
Here's an interesting thing that came to mind. I had an agent on my team do this. Full disclosure, I've never done it, but he started doing this. You know, we go over seller's house all the time for listing appointments, right?
Right.
We need to see the house.
Yeah.
One of the buyer's agents on my team started doing buyer appointments at their house. Hey, listen,
Beautiful.
I understand that you know it's a 45-minute drive to our office. I'll tell you what, I'll just come to your house. You know, what works better for you, Tuesday or Wednesday? And he closed an objection of, I don't want to drive 45 minutes to your house. Great, I'll come to your house.
Yeah, I've been training this for a while now, Brian. I don't know why agents haven't done it ever before. Listen, I like the convenience of forcing somebody to come to my office too, but look at it this way. If I was like, hey, I'm kind of thinking about maybe buying a new Toyota. I'm not really sure, right? Not really sure whether I want to do that or not, and I'm not really sure when. And a car dealer was like, well, come to my lot and sit down and just talk to me about what you're going to do in the future.
No.
I'd be like, no.
I'm good.
Yeah, but and now I don't know if I'd let them come to my house, but it'd be a hell of a lot easier than getting me to come to their car dealership, right?
Yeah, can you imagine this script? So you want a Toyota Highlander or a hybrid, blah, blah, blah. I'll tell you what, I got one that's not sitting on the lot right now. If you want, this afternoon, I get off work around 6. I'll drop it by and you can, fill out some paperwork. You drive.
Hell yes. Bring it on over.
Seriously. And here's the thing about that, guys. Will Dale buy that car? I don't know. But if Dale does buy that car, will he buy it from the guy who drove it over to his house? 100%.
And if Dale doesn't buy that car and hates talking to car dealers and hates going to the showroom, is he more likely to show up and only ask for Bob, who drove his ass over to Dale's house? He sure is, right? I'm not going to talk to anybody. Bob, you're my guy. I want to talk to you.
Absolutely. Remember, in 2019, we have to be different, and preferably different and better. And that's exactly what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Definitely. All right. Sounds good. Have we given them enough today, Brian?
I think so. I think
have we brought the value to these people? We have a bunch of people on here today watching. That's pretty cool. Everybody chat in. What's that?
They heard I was coming back.
They did hear that. They were like, Jesus, we've had enough of that Dale guy. All right, everybody, here's what I want before we let people go. Thanks, Mark. I want everybody to write. I want you to comment. If you're still watching this live, you have to comment in the Facebook. Brian is dapper. How about that? Just comment in there. I don't care what you say. Just say something. We need a thumbs up. We need a hell yes. You guys did awesome. Show the support out here. Otherwise, we're going to, we're only here if we get it. Mark, Dale is dapper there. Mark, thank you, Mark. Mark messaged in here that I'm dapper. We actually have 7 people on the, you and I are 2. We have 5 people on watching live on Zoom with us. And then we got a bunch of people in the Facebook. There we go. Betsy Ferguson waved. Thank you, Betsy Ferguson. Somebody else, give us a message. I got some friends on here. Ryan Konofsky, you better comment in here.
So
Lynn Buckley, Desiree Heck.
Dale doesn't know I'm going to do this, so hopefully he won't kill me. But hey, if you want to be on our show, let us know, because we're always interested in bringing people on. We're always interested in talking to people, whether you're a guy who's closed 1 deal or 100,000 deals. I don't care, because you have something to offer, and we'd love to have you on. So if you're interested, let us know.
Absolutely. That sounds great. All right, everybody. Nick Walsh. Thanks, Nick Walsh. Mark Broyles. Boom. Nice. All right, that sounds great, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. We'll be back next week, right?
We will.
All right. See you guys then.
Thanks, everybody.